Zach Pippin, and today we're talking about white balance and how you can adjust it to make sure you avoid mistakes like this or this. So white balance is really just a measurement of how your camera measures the colors that are coming in and hitting the sensor. Different sources of light, such as the sun or a light bulb, are actually going to put off slightly different colors of light. Now, we don't usually notice this because our eyes and brain are very good at adjusting automatically and very quickly to different color lights. And so we see a white t-shirt as the same whether we're indoors under fluorescent lights or tungsten lights, or if we're outside in the sunlight. A camera, on the other hand, is going to have to be told what kind of light is coming in so that it can adjust accordingly. You can use the auto white balance setting on your camera, and it's going to use its best judgment to get you a good picture. And if you're shooting in RAW, that's honestly probably going to be okay. But especially if you're still shooting in JPEG, you're going to want to get the best shot that you can in the camera, and we're going to see a little bit more about why that's important in a few minutes. To get a proper white balance, you're going to have to adjust your camera's temperature settings. And this is measured in a scale of kelvins, ranging anywhere from about 2,000 up to somewhere around 10,000 usually on your camera. Now, before you get too concerned with having to learn this whole new scale of color temperatures, rest assured your camera probably already has some presets in it for the most common shooting situations. It's probably going to have a tungsten, fluorescent, daylight, cloudy, shade. And to get a better look at what these presets actually do, we're going to head out in the field. We're here in Shem Creek now in Mount Pleasant, South Carolina. I'm here with my friend Josh Johnson. You might recognize him from his YouTube show, Josh Flips Houses. If you haven't already, go ahead and subscribe to that. And so Josh is going to be my model here as we look through our different white balance settings. All right, so this first shot is on auto. And now this is my daylight preset. Here we are in shade. And this is cloudy. Here's tungsten light. Here's white fluorescent light. Here's flash. And then here are just two examples to show the full range of this camera. All the way as cool as this camera will go, it's 2,500 kelvins. And this is as warm as this camera will go, it's 10,000 kelvins. So it's a partially cloudy day here, so as you can see, the daylight preset and the cloudy preset, they were both pretty close to what we would want to be. The tungsten preset was really cool because daylight is a much bluer light, whereas tungsten is going to be a much oranger light. So when it's set to balance for that orange light, something that's going to be out in a bluer light is going to be much cooler. Now, if we were in the opposite situation, say I had my daylight preset on, but we were indoors under tungsten lights, everything would be really orange. So you really want to make sure before you shoot to go ahead and get that white balance right, because if you're shooting in RAW, like we saw in our RAW versus JPEG tutorial, it's going to be fairly easy to fix. But if you are shooting in JPEG or if you're shooting video, it's going to be much harder to fix that in post. And like I always say, you want to get the best picture possible out of your camera to begin with, and then use that as a starting point. You don't want to use your editing process to make a bad picture okay. You want to use your editing process to make a good picture great. At my computer, I just want to show you a few of the things that I was telling you can do in post to correct your color afterwards, and why that might not always be an option for you. So here we are at that photo that I took all the way as cool as my camera would go. It's 2550 kelvins, and over here is that photo that was as warm as it would go, 10,000 kelvins. What's interesting is in Lightroom, I can actually go in and change the temperature after the fact. So if I come over here and type in 10,000, that's going to take me to 10,000 kelvins on that file. It's going to look just like the one that I shot at 10,000 in camera. And if I come over here to one of the presets in Lightroom, I can actually go to daylight, and that's going to look like a perfectly shot photo. And you can see here on my temperature scale, I can make a photo as warm or cool as I want. Now there is a catch in doing this. I told you earlier that you're going to be able to make these adjustments if you were shooting in RAW. And if you remember from our RAW versus JPEG tutorial, RAW files have a whole lot of data. It's taking in all of that light that's hitting your sensor and making a huge file. Whereas a JPEG, it's taking in all of that data and it's basically baking a preset into your photo before it even gets to your computer. So if I come over here to that same photo, but the JPEG version, and I try to turn up the temperature, first of all, you're going to see I don't have the ability to type in a specific temperature. I just have the ability to cool it or warm it up a bit. And as you can see, as I warm it up, it is just not keeping that proper color balance that we saw in the RAW file. So no matter what I do, I'm not able to get that really cool photo that's very blue to the perfect white balance setting. And again, back here in our RAW file, I can tweak it just perfectly to where I want it. So even if my daylight preset in Lightroom, maybe I think I want it a little bit warmer than that. This was shot kind of in the late afternoon. I want to make it look like it was shot at sunset. I'm gonna just bump it up a little bit from 5500 to 6600. That's gonna give us a little bit warmer of an effect. So that's white balance for you. Again, if you are shooting in JPEG, you need to make sure that you get it right in camera. If you're gonna be shooting in RAW, you have a lot of leeway. So honestly, I usually shoot in auto white balance and I don't pay that much attention, but I have that freedom because I always come into Lightroom afterwards and adjust my photos. But if you're either not shooting in RAW or you don't want to go through the trouble of having to come in and fine tune all of your photos in Lightroom or Photoshop or whatever program you use afterwards, you're gonna need to make sure you get it right in camera. That's all I got for today. I hope it was helpful for you. If it was, please give it a like. Go ahead and drop a comment with whatever tutorial you want to see next. As always, feel free to hit me up on Twitter or Instagram. My username is Zach Pippin on both. I'd love to see what kind of photos you're taking and how you've used these tutorials to improve your photography. And if you want, I'm happy to give you feedback. If you're watching this and you haven't subscribed yet, please do so. And if you hit the little bell, you'll get a notification as soon as the next tutorial comes out. I'll see y'all then. So thanks again to Josh for being our model today. Again, if you haven't checked out his channel, go ahead and check it out. It's youtube.com/JoshFlipsHouses. I've linked it down below. Go ahead and check it out. He's about to start a new season pretty soon here. He lives up in Washington, and he's about to start his second house.
Yep, and we got a music video dropping, which is Zach's helping me with. So music video dropping in a couple weeks too, so check that out as well.
Yep.
Never give up, never surrender. This is your boy Heavy J signing off. I don't know what to do.
I don't have a sign off yet.
That's my go-to.
I'm still working on mine. I can't do a peace. I'm too far from the lens.